couple of things I'd like to do before I talk about assessment, because I believe assessment has a very important role in the instruction of children. It becomes negative when it gets to be used as something else. But before I go there, I want to share with you that I stepped into this position. I was appointed 2.5 years ago in a state where there was no controversy around academics and no controversy around the politicalization of education. I also came in at the time that our legislature and every constitutional office shifted from being Democratic to Republican based on the vote of the Tea Party. So we're all aligned with where we want to go in public education in Alabama, and we have no controversy. So I've had a fun 2.5 years. I've spent most of my time in the Alabama legislature trying to convince them that President Obama didn't come down and create this dilemma that we're currently trying to move our children forward. But at the same time, also trying to keep things within context, because it troubles me that we continue to talk about assessment outside of the total picture. We started a process in Alabama 2.5 years ago of setting our own direction called Plan 2020 on where we want public education to be in Alabama by the year 2020 based on the needs of children. We didn't base it on external influences from the U.S. Department of Education or other reform groups, because I personally don't like the word reform. I actually like the word transformation, because if you reform, you're just fixing what you have. Transformation takes us in a different way. I'm also still perplexed that they actually hired me. I told them when I interviewed for the position that politically I'm an independent. I don't need a political party to tell me what to think. I have one constituency group, and that's our 745,000 students, and I don't do bureaucracy well, because bureaucracy tends to not serve children well. So we built our plan around the needs of children, and interestingly, somewhat of an aside, we actually presented our plan to the U.S. Department of Education to be our waiver from No Child Left Behind, and it was approved, and we didn't have to change a thing based on what they had told us they expected us to do. So we're encouraged that they're living up to that expectation that we can actually do what's right. But we know that in this world of assessment and accountability, which our plan is totally contradictory to, because it's based on innovation and creativity and flexibility, that the way we currently use assessment and accountability is one somewhat contradictory to. We knew that assessment had to have a place, but we also knew politically that anything we did in Alabama moving forward that was connected with anything that comes out of Washington would be dead on arrival. So we're not part of the two assessment consortia. I have great respect for both of them, but we looked at what would work in Alabama. And we went to the people who our children go to when they leave high school. We went to our two-year colleges. I met with all 26 of our community colleges and all of our four-year colleges and universities, and spent a huge amount of time with business and industry, and said, what is it that you need from us that you're not currently getting? And we realized that our assessments under No Child Left Behind and AYP were totally disconnected where kids go next. But we're very fortunate in the state of Alabama that all of those entities had a knowledge of and used the ACT and its work keys component to inform career readiness for business and industry. So we said, why in the world would we rebuild the world of assessment when we already have one that's at use in the state of Alabama that is recognized and accepted far beyond K-12? So I'm very pleased that because of that partnership, we have a college and career readiness system that's built on an informed and aligned system that goes from kindergarten through 20, regardless along the way. And we're so excited to be the first state that is now given these assessments. The world did not end. The children are all still well. And it's an aligned system that actually is one piece of a much broader, balanced, and meaningful assessment system that was determined by teachers, by principals, by parents, and university professionals who came together and said, this is what makes sense for us. And the thing that we like about it is we gave for the first time this year the ACT Aspire, which is the 3 through 8 assessment that is aligned with the ACT college and career readiness benchmarks. And we see that as so powerful because now I can sit down with parents, and I remember as a classroom teacher and as a principal sitting down with parents in the past with some of our assessments, and we'd say, based on your child's scale score of 338, they have a stay 9 of 7. And we'd all look at each other and we'd agree and smile like we knew what we were talking about, and they'd sign some paper and we'd all leave. We can now, with our new assessment, say, if we do our job correctly as teachers and educators in this state based on where your child is currently, and we keep them moving along a trajectory toward college and career readiness, we can predict this as a junior in high school, which when all kids will take the ACT with writing at our cost, not theirs, with no cut score expected to graduate from high school, but to help us inform our instruction and our work to make sure kids are on the right trajectory. It's an exciting place to be for us in Alabama because it no longer matters the cut score. The way I describe it is our new focus is to keep the entire herd moving northeast, regardless of where they are on the trajectory. And that's an exciting place to be, but a huge challenge for the adults. So we give the ACT Aspire in grades 3 through 8, and let me do a quick sidebar. Our old assessment, the Alabama Reading and Math Test with science, took 5 days to give. Our new assessment takes 2 hours total. So we're not stopping the world to give assessments because we see this assessment as only one small piece of the bigger picture where those assessments that teachers are giving throughout the year are equally as important. And we've shifted a huge amount of our professional development and our limited resources to supporting teachers in the work they do in their classrooms because those assessments are the ones that make the most difference. These gives us a chance to look at the macro level of trends when that year is over. They take the ACT Explorer in 8th grade that informs a 4-year plan for high school for kids, ACT Plan in 10th grade so we can get a snapshot of where we are. All kids take the ACT with writing in the 11th grade. And then as seniors next year, every student in the state of Alabama will take Work Keys, which will have every child leaving with a career readiness credential along with their college readiness. We feel like this is a powerful move forward. We also feel important that you don't implement assessment outside of curriculum and instruction. Along with this comes all sorts of research and resources from the 50 years of research from ACT and their quality core curriculum resources. We give the end of course test, again, not as a measure to put kids into places, but to inform our instruction. And we're beginning to see huge shifts in the practices of our adults. So we're excited about where that's heading. Next one. So what do these results look like? And that's the most important thing. I was talking with my new friend from New York. If we don't do this, that it has meaning for kids, then why did we do it? We're so excited about the results of these assessments. How did we do? How did I do? How did we do? It's a shared thing between the kids, their parents, and the teacher. What does it mean to us instructionally is the most important question that we ask. And what do we do next as a result of these results? I can tell you what our state board did at my request recently that is a huge stake in the ground for us. I got them to pass a regulation that says these results, regardless of what somebody is demanding of us, will not be used for anything other than instructional purposes, that we will only use it for the purpose of helping children know and parents know and teachers know how they can work together to improve, that we will not use them to rank or label a teacher, a school, a child, or anybody. Because once we begin to use this wonderful, powerful assessment tool for something unintended, it becomes something else. And we'll end up right back as we were under No Child Left Behind with an assessment accountability system that squelches innovation and creativity, which is what our Plan 2020 is all about. Thank you, and visit Alabama. We'd love to have you.